What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode. It's your boy Cupcake Smash, and today we're going to be talking about the time that I ran from the school security guard. Now, this story took place back in 2016, back when I was a sophomore in high school. And during this time, I would skip a lot of school, all right? Just to preface this during this time, half the time I wasn't even there. So one of these days, I go to lunch, right? It's time for lunch. And I meet up with my boy Brandon. And Brandon was a cool guy that I've known since middle school. And he was a major druggie. He was a fiend. And I mean a fiend, he would be smoking all the time. He was always on something, some sort of substance when you talk to him. This man, hey. But I meet up with Brandon, right, at lunch, and he says, hey, let's get out of here. I say, when we doing this? He goes, right now. So it was a perfect time, right? It was B lunch. For those of you who know, they have days where you have A lunch and you have B lunch. I had the B lunch. So right after B lunch would be fourth period. And during this time, I thought, screw it. I don't need fuck the rest of the day. So we decide to dip out. And in my school, there was, if you go to the back of the school, there would be the baseball field, right? And that's where all the fields were, with the track field, and then you'd be out, right? Because there's no way we're going to the other side of the school, because that was the parking lot, and that was always being monitored. So we decide, let's go to the back side of the school. So this was the plan. At the end of the school, there was security monitoring the gates, so we had to maneuver, right? We had to think heist mode. We go to the back building, and there's a security lady at the gate. So what we do is we go through the building, right? We're inside the building, and we go to the far right corner of it. And it's me and Brandon, right? And we're waiting there. And we're waiting for the lunch bell to ring, signaling that lunch is over and it's time for fourth period to start, right? Because we thought, all right, when the bell rings, that's the time to move. Because the moment the bell rings, people start flooding out, right? We are going to use the chaos of the moment and dip through the back, acting as if we're leaving, right? Because the security guards aren't going to be looking at us in the moment. This is our mentality. This was, like I said, heist mode, right? So we're waiting. And we're waiting a few minutes, and we had enough time to think about the route we were going to take. Because we could either A, take the safe route, which was walk through the track field, which was wide open, but it was pretty easy to get to the end of the school and just walk out the gate. Or we would take the baseball field, which connected to the woods and then led to the road. And I think you guys know which road we decided to take. So in our mind, we were thinking, hey, we got to go through these woods instead of the open field, because if we went through the open field, the security would see us right away and just call it in, right? So to be cautious, we took the harder route. And we're waiting. We're in the corner of the building. You know, me and Brandon, we're just scheming. We're plotting. We're waiting to get the fuck out. And then the bell rings. Boom. It's fourth period. People, at the moment we hear the bell, we don't even wait for the doors to open. We dip. We bolt towards the baseball field, right? And we start moving along the fence because it was outlined by a fence. So we go through that, right? We're moving through the fence, and we only have a few minutes to get this done because all we need to do is get out of view, right? We just got to get to the woods, and we're golden in my mind, right? We're moving through this baseball field, and we reach the end. We reach the fence. Brandon hops right over. If I didn't mention this, my knee was in a brace. Not a casket, but a knee brace, because I recently dislocated it, right? So this added a layer of difficulty to the moment, right? Brandon hops the fence just fine. He knows I'm in a brace. All it did was made it so I couldn't bend my knee. So I climbed the fence and hop right over that bitch. I wasn't letting nothing stop me. We made it over this fence, right? We're in the woods. And this section of the woods was pretty much, I would describe it as marshland. This was back in Florida, you know? So it was really just like, humid forest. It was actually pretty dry though. It wasn't wet. So we just walked through this section of woods for about, I would say, half a mile. I would say that's how long it was until we got to the end and it would open up to the road, right? So we're walking through the woods. We're thinking we made it. Now that we're in the woods, we're in the clear. All we got to do is get out of the road, right? So we're talking and we make it out of the woods. This is where things got a little sus. To our right was the school, and to our left, across the road, was, I would call it, warehouses and businesses there. So there was also this cafe called Jack's Cafe right across the road. That was our destination. We were going to get some food because we skipped lunch, right? So we're walking down the path on the way to Jack's. It was right across from the school, and we notice it. We see it. We see the security golf cart coming up from the campus. I don't believe it. Guys, the golf cart came up onto the road in front of us, made the turn, and now he's facing us, right? We saw him coming our way, but by the time he made the turn, we were already booking. I said we were out. We went in different directions. I sprinted across this road. Guys, let me tell you, when I ran in a brace, it doesn't matter who was going to stop me. I was not getting caught. I ran across this road with such agility, you would have thought I was running from the cops. And in my mind, we were, right? So we're sprinting. I'm booking. I go. I make it to the edge of the warehouses, and I go and I lay low by the warehouses behind a car, and I dip. And I wait. And I wait a couple minutes to make sure that the coast is clear. And I hit up Brandon. I say, yo, what's going on? What happened? He's like, yo, I'm good. Meet me by the cafe. So I'm like, all right, bet. I walk to the cafe. The coast seems clear. I don't know what happened to the security guard. And as I'm walking, I meet up with Brandon halfway to the cafe. And we had this routine where we would ditch our backpacks in these bushes, right next to the cafe. So if anybody asked questions, we weren't coming straight from school because it would be blatantly obvious if we had the backpack on, right? So if we had no backpack, we could easily say, didn't go to school today. That's our logic. So we drop our backpacks off, we're cool, and we go to Jack's. We walk into the cafe, and we take a sigh of relief. We made it. We got no worries. And the owner of the cafe, he was cool, man. Like, he knew that students would skip and go to his shop for lunch, but he didn't care. He was just worried about the money, right? He never asked questions. So we ordered our lunch. I think I ordered like a Cuban sandwich, and so did Brandon. I got an Arizona iced tea, for 99 cents. Shout out to that. And I wait. I wish I could describe it to you. For the first time back in those days, it was amazing. The concentrate was just bubbling at the tip. The cherry, when it reached it, you could see it just simmering, And by a couple hits in, I was already blasted. But we ended up finishing most of this joint between me and him. We look at each other. We're like, are you good? We're good. We know. We look at each other and we know. Looking back on it, it was a really good time. Me and Brandon, we were just chilling. And then it was time to go back, right? It was about that time in the day because we had to catch a bus. So that's when we started walking back. I was so high, you guys. Like the walk back seemed longer than the trip out. And I was always paranoid of the security guard coming back out to catch us because I had no idea what happened to it. And we make our way Luckily, we timed it. That 2:40 was when my school let out, right? 2:40. And we're making our way as it's happening because no one's gonna like before. No one's gonna notice the kids walking in if there's a bunch of kids walking out. So we do just that. We know the bell rings. It's about 2:42, maybe 2:45. We're already on site. And we're walking through high as hell, not worrying about anybody else, just like trying to find our bus number. And I find my bus and I look at Brandon and I say, yo, that was a good day. I split off of him. I say bye. And I get on my bus and I head straight home. And you know what I did when I got home, you guys? Got on some Black Ops 2. Anyway, guys, this was the time that I ran from the security guards from school, smoked a Twax joint, and I had a brace on. Can you guys like the video for that one? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.